Welcome back again. Today we're going to talk about fiber, carbs, hidden sugars, and what I think everybody needs to be able to do, label reading. We've got a lot of examples today, some of which may shock you in terms of how much hidden sugar, which may be a good thing because it'll shock you to make some better choices. We're going to talk about how fiber is so important when it comes to carb consumption, and watching out for some of the white menace foods, which are very popular in the diet today, but really do very little good for us, especially when it comes to weight loss and weight maintenance. So just for your reference, we've got some white rice here, a white potato, a little pack of yogurt, some chocolate milk, some white bread, and some multigrain bread, and some trusty ketchup. Okay? Now, label reading is a very important subject because if you know how to read a label, you can circumvent a lot of health problems and nutritional mishaps by just simply understanding what you're eating. So I'm going to go through on what to look for in a label, specifically when it comes to carbs and sugar and fiber. So we're going to take a look, for example, at this ketchup. Now, I love ketchup, I will admit it. I think a lot of people enjoy it. It's a great condiment, goes great with fries, all kinds of things. But ketchup is a really sneaky source of sugar. And just how much sugar? Well, before we started this little video, to spare you from the tediousness of measuring out 26 teaspoons of sugar, this is how much sugar you've got in this bottle. So in case you didn't really think there's a whole lot of sugar in ketchup, think again, because you're getting 130 approximate grams in this bottle alone. We already know what sugar does to us, so we won't talk about that again in this video, but this is a really sneaky source of sugar. Certainly not the only one though. So, white bread. Now we think multigrain might be a bit healthier. We're going to look at the labels and just see if that is really borne out. White bread, so we've got a total of 35.7 grams of carbs in 2 slices of bread. We've got 1.9 grams of fiber. We've got 2.5 added grams of sugar. Doesn't sound so bad maybe. Only half a teaspoon. Well, total carbs minus fiber equals carbs that turn into sugar. And remember now that fiber slows down the impact of any sugar that's ingested, whether it's added sugar or a carb that converts quickly to sugar. So we take 35.7, we take away the 1.9 grams of fiber, we've got about 33 or so grams of sugar, essentially, in 2 slices of bread. Rice. Seems pretty innocuous in itself. This little packet, we've got about 415 calories, most of it coming from carbs, 45 grams of carbs per serving. You gotta look at how many serving sizes are on the pack, though. There's 2. 4 grams of total fiber. What does that leave us with? 86 grams of carbs that convert to sugar quickly because there's very little fiber. What does that look like? Not so much total carbs convert into sugar from that pack. So, another food we call the white menace. White potato. So, well, it's a white potato. There's no added sugar, right? That's right. But, again, regular potatoes don't tend to have a lot of fiber. They have a lot of carbs that turn quickly into sugar again. Given the average potato is about 42 grams, we're talking about almost 42 grams of sugar in here. That's about the same as we had when we measured the teaspoons of sugar in the Coke can. So if you think you're having a potato and you're eating really healthy, not quite so much. All right. Yogurt. Now, pretty small serving of yogurt here. I've certainly seen some higher in sugar before, but even this little container of yogurt has 2.5 teaspoons of sugar. So where can we get away from sugar? It's everywhere. It's in chocolate milk. You know, kids love chocolate milk, but we've got 33.8 grams of carbs. We've got 29.6 grams of sugar. Now, some of that's from the sugar naturally occurring in the milk, but we know that a lot of it's not, as sugar is the number 2 ingredient behind milk right here. So what does that mean for you when it comes to label reading as a takeaway thing? Look at your fiber. Fiber you get to subtract from any carbs in terms of lowering your net of carbs. Really important for you looking at how much glucose you're going to get out of that. Second, look at the added sugar. That's how much actually sugar they're adding to the product. And that tells you, okay, how much is there. But then you need to look at the total carbs. And that's really the big number that a lot of people don't understand, is that total amount. You less the fiber from that, that's your net amount of carbs that process quickly into sugar. And remember, we talked about before, evolutionarily, we didn't encounter a lot of sugar years ago, so our bodies aren't designed to store a lot of it. So remember that when you're looking at food choices, be careful with these high carbs with low fiber, because it's really going to spike that insulin, the cortisol, and when we can't burn it, it turns to fat. So watch out for the white menace foods and watch out for those empty carbs.